Hello and welcome back to Speed Model. So at the end of the last episode, we got kinda stuck in the sense that, well, we don't really know how to make use of the space anymore. So at the end of the last episode, I promised you drastic changes. And today, that is exactly what you're gonna get. You're watching episode 4 of Speed Model. Remember how I said we weren't making good use of the space last time? Turning the table into a bar counter was my last ditch attempt at making some sense out of the space. Unfortunately, that didn't work out very well either, and I decided to do something drastic. Shifting the counter under the window does a lot for the scene. It frees up a lot of space, and the lighting made the countertop look great. However, the windows continued to look out of place, and I eventually removed them all. I've mangled the mesh for the room quite badly, which is why you see me reconstructing it here. With that done, I slice out a new set of windows, this time making room for 5 panels instead. I messed around with the proportions a bit, but no matter what I did, I wasn't satisfied with the look. I decided I would spend time to think about this at a later time, so I replaced the area with just a strip of white. The fridge is now out of place. I experiment with switching it around a little. You can actually see me pondering this over, all that cursor gesticulating must have taken like a minute. I eventually decide to switch things around again. I still wanted a counter in front of the windows, so I promptly put that back in place. I decided that I wanted an L-shaped setup, so I temporarily removed the stove and duplicated the entire counter. That didn't quite work. I ended up deleting that and simply expanding on the existing counter. I removed the innermost cabinet doors. While mulling over how to best do this, I turned my attention to first making a little oven. The space around the spot was a little awkward to deal with, but I eventually made the oven as wide as the stove, leaving a little empty gap for future me to fill in. I also shift the entire counter in slightly. I decided to go ahead and model the actual oven, starting with, of course, punching in the mesh to make it hollow. For a while I wondered how I would divide up the space. You can see me experimenting with cutting the mesh in various ways. Dividing it vertically made the left region a strange squarish shape, which I didn't really like. I eventually overcame this by simply blocking off a part of the lower region. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. Now I make a door for the oven, taking care to build a border separate from the center bit, which will receive a transparent texture. You can see me testing out the transparency here. After I'm satisfied with the look, I punch in the center a bit just to give it that recessed look. I decided to reuse the fridge handle as the oven door handle. I decided the look worked. I set its texture to something whitish and non-reflective. Then I turned my attention to the side compartment. I built a simple door for it and copied the handle from the oven as well. Now it's time to put everything in place. I decided the stove should scoot over to the left. I then proceed to tweak the counter a little with plans to extend it horizontally so it covers the gap. The mesh was quite broken after all that messing around, so I deleted quite a lot of faces and reconstructed the side. From that point, all we needed was a simple extrusion. Now that that's done, I punch in the new segment again, duplicate one of the cabinet doors, tweak the mesh a little, and we now have the counter that makes a nice turn. As an added bonus, the roll of the table is now pretty clear. I shift it all to a new position, get rid of the legs, and extrude out the sides, giving it a bar counter kind of feel. And there you have it. It's pretty surprising how just rotating the room, just moving everything around uniformly, actually made so much of a change to the way the space was used. In fact, this is the layout that we will keep for essentially the rest of this series, because it just works better with everything we have so far. So yeah, things are taking shape. I hope you're looking forward to the further refinements we make in the future to this little kitchen. Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. Until next time, you're watching 0612 TV. Hello, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember that I appreciate every like, favorite, and comment you give me. If you'd like to see more from me in the future, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And for more updates outside of YouTube, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at 0612TV. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.